welcome to the InGeneral podcast, episode 83. My name's Jack, and I'm joined, as always, with Chris and Asees. How you guys doing?
Oh, hello.
Not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm okay, man. Thank you very much. I'm a bit disappointed that the rest of the world doesn't seem to be as excited as me about the fact that the US government announced that they have off-world craft. Aliens exist. Nobody seems to be blowing up about that, but, you know.
It's probably not real.
Well, I mean, the Pentagon confirmed that. They were like, we've got craft that are not from this world.
Nah, I don't believe them.
I think it's down to semantics on that one. I think that they're saying something else, but basically humoring the possibilities of all possibilities is sort of like what it comes down to.
They could retract it, but it does seem to go along with everything that, if you know, like the Bob Lazar story in Area 51.
Bob Lazar's a hack, isn't he?
No. Pretty much this and a few other things have like proven his story, but it's still up for debate. I think it's a really interesting topic. I'm just so
also
excited
fake.
that no one seems to be talking about this article. New York Times dropped the bomb. UFOs exist.
Well,
yeah. So what?
Well, I don't know about that, dude. Still, I don't know.
We shall see. I mean, you can hear more about this in our other podcast that's specifically on UFOs. But today we're here to talk about
Bigfoot is an alien.
A number of Jurassic-based things. But before that, check out the Jurassic Outpost store. We're adding products day by day, designed by James McQuaid. We've got Kirby merchandise, something you didn't know you wanted, and when you see it, you know you will. You've got 20% off on Zavi.com and .co.uk using Outpost 20 as your discount code. They've got some pretty cool clothing lines on there, the Primal line, the Festival collection. And if you don't want to buy Jurassic Park stuff, but you still want to buy from Zavi, then use Outpost 10, you get 10% on pretty much site-wide. And then head back to the Jurassic Outpost store for the Kirby merch. Guys, Camp Cretaceous.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this,
the other side of the island.
Yeah, the other
No.
side.
I mean, literally, discover the other side of the island is the tagline.
That's it. Yeah,
that is the worst tagline. I am super positive about everything I've seen about Camp Cretaceous, just so we don't get bogged down here. But I have to say, that is the silliest tagline I don't care about discovering the other side of the island. I care about just seeing the island and everything. You know, I don't know. It's a weird tagline.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's like a meme tagline.
We laughed about that when they first said it.
Yeah.
It's on the other side. We were like, what other side? How many sides?
How many sides are there to this island?
Yeah. Oh, God. But what do you think of that poster? Because the poster leaked a couple of hours before everything officially dropped.
Yeah, I was bummed because we had our coverage. We were embargoed and had our coverage ready to go. And then I woke up and the poster is out there and people were like, September 18th. And I'm like, oh no, has it all leaked? But thankfully, no, the images in the trailer waited. But yeah, so the poster, I don't know. I don't love it.
I kind of like it.
It begins.
That's just the basic Photoshop flare effect filter there. So that's sort of I'm not sure if I love the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous logo.
I was going to say, I'm not in for that logo.
I like the idea of it, like the wood paneling and everything like that, but they should have made it a proper Jurassic logo, which means Camp Cretaceous should be part of the logo, not below it.
I'm not sure the wood effect is working. The orange and yellow works as the gradient on the Camp Cretaceous text, but the Jurassic World logo in that wood format, I don't know, something about it isn't eye-catching enough.
It looks like something I would make, and then somebody would come around and say, that's a good idea, but let me show you how to really do it, and then they would do the final one.
Really himself short on that.
I don't know how to use Photoshop. I just plug and play until something looks serviceable. No, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm sure you could do better than that, though.
I don't know. I like the idea. I really do like the idea of a wooden logo and the colors and everything like that. It is a really cool idea, but this goes back to what we've been saying about the logos for a while now. I'm tired of the logo actually not being a logo, where it's just Jurassic World. Maybe they changed that a little bit, but the title of it is below it. It's not part of the logo, and that was half the fun, is you would always get these unique customized logos for the Jurassic series, and Jurassic World has basically retired that. So I don't know. It's a small nitpick, but then again, logos, it's art, and that's what we're all fans of. So it's not. I guess it's fair.
It just looks a bit disconnected as well with the text below it.
Important tangent, though, guys. Important tangent. Our side episode or side podcast. The font check, is it correct?
You know what? The Jurassic World font is correct. The Camp Cretaceous font has a cool,
it's its own thing,
weird little twist on the C. I don't know if you can see that. Get it?
Jesus.
Boom.
Yeah, no,
It does. It does. It's got a little.
I like it. No, I like what they did with the Camp Cretaceous thing. But back to the poster, the Indominus actually looks really nice there. I love how her eye really comes through.
Glowing amber eyes.
Like, yeah, it just looks really cool. And then you have
Looks a bit skinny, but you can't see the whole body. But look, she looks a bit small. Like more of a giant head than the original. Although she was
Stylized.
growing, right, as the movie
Well,
went on, or that's what it was sold to the extras and stuff.
Oh no, that was
filming.
changed. The idea was originally the Indominus was going to break out not because she outsmarted them, but like she had grown out of the cage. Not like in a
Yeah.
super fast time. It's just she was slowly growing and finally got to that spot. But anyhow, yeah, no. Some of the extras had some of the outdated information about what was going on.
It sounded cooler though. She was growing at like exponential rate. Like they couldn't build fast enough.
Yeah, that does sound like an interesting idea.
Makes her more of a freak. But it's
What
cool.
could've
It's
been.
cool to see the Indominus back, and then you've got the two characters above on like a zipline type thing.
I believe that is Yaz or Yasmina, and then that other character is Darius. And I think Darius is sort of the main character.
He's already got the action figure.
Yeah, he's got the action figure. The book, the tie-in book that's coming out, is written from his perspective, and he's apparently like the dino nerd of the group. And then that's Yaz, and
He's the Tim Murphy.
and that's Yaz. She's sort of like the star athlete type of girl. And then I think the other character names offhand, if I'm not mistaken, it's Kenji, Brooklyn, Sammy, and Ben, who then would be, the popular rich guy, social media star, ranch girl, and like the neurotic hypochondriac type of person.
They've got it
I'm
all.
not looking forward to the social media expert. That's not going to be fun to watch at all.
No.
I'm sure kids will love it.
The
but
influencer.
Well, hey,
thank you.
I mean, for what it's worth, we know Jurassic World has a really bad reception. Jurassic World told us that, so maybe we won't have to deal with them doing too many live streams or anything silly like that.
Well, no, but it does sell it as these kids are pumped, man. These kids are pumped to be there.
Yeah.
They've never seen dinosaurs before, but I think it's got that good feel to it. But yeah, as for the poster, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's just cool to see something officially Jurassic with that Netflix logo on. Not that Netflix is now like a staple of quality, but just seeing, the classic Netflix poster down there with the date and the Netflix logo, but it's actually Jurassic something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Finally got the animated series we wanted.
No, I know it's been a long time coming. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like the poster. I just think that it looks like it's an unfinished comp, I guess. Maybe part of that's coming down to the logo, but it's like things like the flames aren't turned on the gates in the back there, and the lighting comp doesn't seem to match. It just seems like it's missing a final pass for like
Oh,
artistry.
you're right. There are no flames.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that sort of sounds weird. It's somehow something about this just feels like it's like the final poster before you put all like the final like compositional effects to really like tie all the art together. That's what it looks like to
Yeah.
me. But that
It's cool to see the gates though. I like the gates.
yeah,
Pretty cool.
no, I do. I mean, remember those gates are like what we were so excited about because we were analyzing the dinosaur skulls on them, trying to figure out what dinosaurs which. Which I'm sad to report, looking at the trailer, it looks like the lower left one is not a plesiosaur, but it's actually a stylized mosasaur. So we were wrong about.
Well, that's it. I'm out.
Now I think they might have
That's
changed
the
the
final
design,
straw.
but I'm not sure. But I was just I was looking at that earlier. But anyhow, so
let's
Camp
go ahead.
Cretaceous, and we also
Yeah,
have
let's
the
talk about
cast.
this trailer. Okay, yeah. Do you want to go through the cast?
No, you can, because I'm not going to try to pronounce.
Just
some of
no,
these
straight up.
names.
Okay.
That's valid. Very, very challenging names in this.
Paul Michael Williams from Westworld. Anybody recognize?
No, I googled him. I
No.
didn't recognize him because they're all kids.
Okay.
So
That's
they were
Darius, right? Then you've got Jenna Ortega, who was in You. Who was she in You? Jenna Ortega. She wasn't. Well, anyway. Brooklyn. Ryan Potter, Big Hero 6. Self-reported. That's Kenji. Rainy Rodriguez, Bunked. Never. I don't know what that is. It's Rainy Rodriguez from Bunked. Gregarious and enthusiastic. Sean Giambrone? Giabroni? Giabroni. From the Goldbergs. And he's the sensitive and bookish Ben. Kazur Mohammed from Silicon Valley, who plays Yaz. And then you've got Jamil from Legendary and The Good Place. You got Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick.
I only recognize one person in this so
Roxy
far.
and Dave. Yeah, I recognize Glenn Powell, Jamil.
Yeah.
I think I recognize the Jabroni dude from Goldberg. But yeah, aside from that, no, I have no idea what Bunked is.
I like the diversity of the cast. I like to say that up front. It's very cool.
Yeah, no, there's a good, decent amount of diversity here. And yeah, looking at some of these cast members, they are some of them are like larger names, so that's pretty cool that they got some decent talent there for the vocal.
They're definitely putting some money behind this.
The question that I have is, even though the trailer doesn't show it, we're obviously going to have cameos of Claire and Owen. My question is do they have Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard doing the voiceovers, or do you think that they have sound-alikes? I think that they might.
You definitely get Bryce Dallas Howard for sure.
She would do it.
Get them, yeah.
She would
I don't know
definitely
about
do
Chris
it.
Pratt though.
I don't know why Pratt wouldn't though. It's just, I mean,
I can't remember.
He didn't do the game either.
Did
he do Lego the game? He didn't.
No, he didn't do Evolution, did he?
They
No, he
might get
didn't.
him for this though. Who knows? Did he not do Evolution?
No, dude, they got some awful replacement.
Okay, so this.
Wait, hold on, wait. While we're talking about Evolution voice actors, I want to say Return to Jurassic Park, their Hammond sounds nothing like Hammond.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. Anyhow.
Yeah, there's Sam Neill was kind of off too, actually.
Well, yeah, he's just older. That's the thing. He did sound different, and that's just because you have Sam Neill of today trying to sound like Sam Neill of then. And his
Chris,
voice
I was trying to make a joke. Thank you.
Well, Asees. Chips.
So we have showrunners Scott Creamer and Aaron Hammersley, and then you've got Spielberg, Trevorrow, Frank Marshall, and Lane Luares.
Never heard of Trevorrow or Spielberg before. This is interesting.
No, I've never heard of any of those people.
They must be
at
new.
all. I wonder what their backgrounds are. Have they actually done anything good before?
I
But
think
they're
newcomers.
all exec producers.
Yeah.
And
The money
series-
guys.
It was developed by Zach Stentz, who is the consulting producer as well.
People who are on Twitter are probably familiar with Zach because he's pretty active and has talked about Camp Cretaceous on there in the past. And seems to be a pretty big Jurassic Park superfan. He's promised.
Which is good.
He's promised
Yes.
a lot of deep dives into the lore and a lot of deep references for the story and things along those lines. Which from the we see a lot in this trailer, and we'll talk about that. But we even know more from the toys. While the trailer doesn't show it, the Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus will be appearing in the show, which is pretty cool.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So I know that's what you wanted, some more Jurassic Park 3.
I'd take a
hell
statue
yeah.
of that for sure, man. Yeah.
Statue of the whole pod. Give me the whole statue.
I'll take a statue, man. Just put it in statue form, Chris, and I've got it. I'll buy it.
Ship
I
it,
love that stupid book.
patent it, put it on a plastic lunchbox. We're selling.
I want that as a statue too.
I couldn't find
So
anything to hit.
This is season 1 of Camp Cretaceous. It's important to note that they are doing how many more series, Chris?
They haven't officially said how many. I will say this: most Netflix series run at least 3 seasons, and this show is 8-episode seasons, which means it's on the shorter end. Which means I could see it going upwards to 5 or 6 seasons at least. I will say also, when I was at Toy Fair, and this has probably changed a little bit because the series did get bumped back a little bit. But when I was at Toy Fair, originally they said season 2 was supposed to debut at the end of this year already, like in December or so. So
But hang on, if it's, I understand that it's probably going to go for a while, especially if it's successful. But if it's called Camp Cretaceous and it's set at Camp Cretaceous, obviously it takes place prior, during, and after the events of Jurassic World, after the Indominus breakout. But how do you do continuing series that catches up to, say, Fallen Kingdom or Jurassic World Dominion?
Anthology series,
if
baby.
they're going to do that, and it's called Camp Cretaceous
I
still.
don't think that they're going to continue into that era. I don't think they're going to continue into Fallen Kingdom. I mean, I could see these kids maybe being on the island for like a month or two in the grand
What?
scheme of things. But I can't see them being stranded there much longer than that. So I don't think we're going to go too deep after Jurassic World, but I think we are
But then
going
how,
to find...
how do you pad that out to multiple seasons if they're not on the island too long? Maybe just like
Well,
following them and their few days of survival.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
it should go down.
this
it should go
trailer
down-
looks like it might have only taken place over the period of like 24 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, you can imagine...
Maybe season 1 is prior.
Well...
no, wait, no. No, that doesn't work.
Well, here's the thing. Remember, when we heard about this series a long time ago, it was more described as like a bunch of kids get stranded on the island. They're missed by the evacuation. And it's sort of like Swiss Family Robinson, like them surviving like in tree houses, which we've seen in the trailer, which actually it's like part of the camp. But like, you know, it's like sort of this survival where they have to like scavenge from the park and, you know, build stuff to survive and get out of there and get help.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, it could work. It's easy. It's really easy to understand how they could be left behind now that we know that InGen security was compromised. So they might not have nefarious motives. They just might have marked the kids off as dead, assuming they're dead without doing their due diligence to do a rescue mission. And then, boom, they're assumed dead. Nobody goes looking for them, and that's that. They're stranded.
That's hilarious if that's the case.
I mean, that's got to be the case, right? They're not going to...
Our entire Camp Cretaceous facility destroyed, and they're all dead. Fuck it.
I mean, there's only 6 kids, so you know it's pretty easy to understand. And also, oh, by the way, yeah. So they mentioned the camp counselors. I'm sure those camp counselors are gonna get eaten.
Yeah, Jamil, and the other person,
Roxy and Dave.
Roxy and Dave,
Yeah,
Glenn
Roxy.
Powell. That's it.
Yeah.
Camp counselors. So that's true. They'll be there too. It'll be interesting. Maybe season 1, maybe towards the end they track towards the other end of the island. Who knows?
The other side. Yeah.
Who knows how they're gonna pad it out? But it'll be
Which side are we
interesting
going to, baby? Which side?
to see? Yeah, which side are we gonna go to now? There's so many sides to this island.
So
We can explore all of them.
if you pull up the trailer, you can see that it opens up with a nice little shot of Isla Nublar. I noticed right away that they made sure they put the volcano in there.
Yeah,
It's like
huge.
It is so big. It is like towering over those mountains. It makes the island look small.
Another retcon. But yeah, so the volcano's there.
It is so
then we
massive. I just noticed that.
We get a lovely, lovely shot, low angle shot. It's lovely, showing the helicopter flying over.
Yeah, it's a nice little shot there. Then we have the wide shot. That's sort of like the. It kind of reminds me.
This is the visitor center shot, man.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's the visitor center shot from Jurassic Park.
It is.
It's-
It's through the trees. It's across the lake. It was a lake in shot.
Yeah.
It's the red Jeep. Now this is cool. Let's talk about that.
So
Jeep.
the Jeep
It's
is
a 6x6.
is the Mercedes 6x6, which remember we were all excited for that was going to be in Jurassic World because we were imagining like what type of action scenes would they use this vehicle for. Turns out like it's only ever in the background and nothing ever really happens with it. So that was a bit of a
Crucially underused, that one.
yeah. So they brought it back in Jurassic Park colors with the Camp Cretaceous logo on it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It looks good like that. Also, I noticed in this shot the stripe. Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. I was gonna say the stripe continues all the way down without it being worn and torn, but never mind. There is wear and tear on it. But yeah,
On the Jeep.
yeah. So, what do you think about the bringing back of the classic colors for Camp Cretaceous?
Good throwback. I'm all about it.
Yeah. When we first saw the photo of the gates, you kind of knew that they were going down a bit of a blended vibe of the two. And then, yeah, seeing this trailer is filled with a mixture of Jurassic World type stuff. For example, the 6x6. And then, but the paint job's classic. And then the gates, they've got flames on, they're classic. It's got like a high hide. I mean, we'll get to that stuff, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm happy. That's a cool way to incorporate the Jurassic Park colors into canon during the Jurassic World era. Is basically saying, hey, they have their own little subset of the park, and they use those types of colors for everything Camp Cretaceous.
Do we think it should have been Explorer colors though?
Oh, that would have looked. That would have been really
would've been
neat
looking
in
off.
Explorer colors. It would have looked so tacky, but kind of fun.
290s.
I mean,
Yeah.
The Explorer-
But then it would have made sense being the tour vehicle.
yeah, I mean, you do see safari vehicles like at safari facilities, and they're usually pretty goofy looking, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't know. I think that this is pretty cool to see it like this. It makes
Yeah, for
sense.
sure.
It looks like an official vehicle that would operate in a park or a camp or a wildlife preserve or something. But anyhow, it continues. Then it pulls up to the gate, which again we see it's in the classic colors, even though it says Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. There is an electric fence surrounding Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah.
So when they go through the gate, you can see that Camp Cretaceous must be set maybe in like the northern reaches of the island where they have a lot of roaming dinosaurs. So they probably have this all fenced off.
So you think it's in the north? That makes sense because the Indoraptor or Indorex has to go to the. No, it doesn't go too far into the
I'm
island.
assuming. I'm assuming like so the island. I mean the like Main Street and everything is sort of situated to the southwest. So I'm thinking that Camp Cretaceous is maybe more northeast. That's my best guess. I don't know. It could be
the
on
restricted zone.
maybe even not that far north, but it doesn't really matter. The point is it's disconnected from Main Street. You know, it's somewhere off the beaten trail. It's its own little subset of the park.
It's its own little thing.
It's its own thing. The other side of the island.
The other side.
So yeah.
So if we continue through, you've got 3 of the main characters. Do you know these by name?
I can again. Hold on, I just need to pull something up. So that would be Yaz, Sammy, and wait, who's the other person? Sorry. Yaz, Sammy, and Ben.
And you've got the classic, the looks of it, joy and awe at the gate.
Yeah, no, they're excited. They know what they're going to. I mean, there's obviously Jurassic World's been an operating park for 10 years, so it's not like Jurassic World is an all-new thing or anything secret to them, but I think a camp program like this is probably something all-new. And
Relatively new, yeah.
Very exclusive.
So it then comes up from the gate, close up on the Jurassic World, in the classic Jurassic colours, which is nice. Mm-hmm. It is really cool to see that. Comes across and reveals more jungle.
Yes, and then they look like they're arriving at the camp. What's cool is the camp seems like it's situated in some Sorna-style redwoods.
It's more redwood, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a nice, cool area, and as they get out of the truck, they look up to... you could call this a high hide, right? Bit of a modernized high hide.
It's more of like I would call it just a tree housing system. Like, I mean, literally, it looks like the one building is inside of this tree, and then you follow it up, and then you have all these different buildings up there, and they're all situated with these catwalks, all on trees. And they have a very premium resort wilderness look to it. You know, it doesn't look like a tree house. It looks like something premium, but it's also, I don't know, it's a pretty cool look. And then you still have the palm trees.
It's going more down like the classic built into the jungle as opposed to just these big glorious structures. It's got more of that safari vibe.
Yeah, no, I really, I'm really excited by it. And I love the way the rays of light are like bouncing through the trees. It just has a very, it's somewhere that I want to go, and it's somewhere that I'm excited to see.
It's a nice jungle. Yeah, it looks good.
You guys have nailed everything I wanted to say about this. You know what? The more I watch the trailer, the more excited I kind of get for it. Just to see like new canon shit.
So
it's got a good tone, I think, to it.
Yeah, it's surprisingly serious, and we can talk about that.
Kind of cool.
Yeah. So the next shot we see is the kids having fun going down a zip line from a zip line tower. Looks like that is one of the counselors back there in a red shirt as they go down. And that's, the 2 counselors are sitting there on the zip line tower. And I'm sure they probably get munched.
Munched.
And so they zip line right by a Brachiosaurus.
That's so cool.
That is the Jurassic World Brachiosaurus design. But interestingly, they took the kind of metallic blue off the face. So it's like a Jurassic World Brachiosaurus, but in more classic, but I suppose brown. Like more classic colors, so.
Yeah, it's cool. It'd be cool to do this. It'd be kind of freaky if, as you were ziplining, there was...
Just it walked in front of you.
Right in the way, yeah.
Yeah, just...
Smack.
Just swats you out of the air.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, you... Oh. I mean, to be
fair, big priority.
Slowly, though.
Yeah, he does go really slow, so maybe either it's a slow motion shot or like maybe there are security measures with those things in mind.
Yeah. And then, boom.
Yeah, the Indominus Rex foot busts down. And if you look to the left of the frame...
Broken fence. Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you look to the left of the frame,
saw that.
you see some broken electrical fence. And you don't see a lot of electric fence in Jurassic World.
That's got to be the camp.
So that's got to be the camp. Yeah, exactly. You have it with the the restricted section up north. We do see that in Jurassic World, but otherwise, like, there's not too many fences, so it's probably the camp or the restricted section. Yeah. And it's a very menacing, ominous shot. The menacing, ominous music happens. And then the next shot is the Indominus Rex, and she's looking great, and she's roaring right underneath the zipline tower.
She's giving a little roar.
Yeah.
She does look good.
So that gives us a bit of a timeline. These, they're at camp, they're doing some of their activities, and while these activities are happening, the Indominus had broken out. And, that makes sense because while they brought people into the main areas of the camp, up to the park after the Indominus broke out, they didn't really, declare a state of emergency until the Pteranodons got free. Which that also...
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, she had some time. But so she was in the restricted zone, just to get this right. The Indominus Rex was in the restricted zone.
Yeah, she went up north and then kind of looped around, I believe.
Wait, so where was Camp Cretaceous?
We don't know. We don't know.
But would you assume it was in the restricted zone?
Or out? That's the most undefined part of the island in the Jurassic World era. So you can easily situate it somewhere up there. And because we believe that's sort of their staff only. It wasn't. They've gone on record to say it wasn't too dangerous up there or anything like that. That was their staff area.
Yeah, we used to hope that it was wild up there.
Yeah, wild raptors up in the northern. We were going back. Without realizing it, we were talking about the lava fields from the book, not realizing how important that concept would have been. It would have been really cool if they played on those lava fields and the geothermal power with Jurassic World.
Yeah, 100%. With Fallen Kingdom basically opening with a volcano, it should have.
It should have been seeded.
Should have mentioned it.
It was seeded in the books, so the opportunity was there, and it would have been very Crichton. Man messes with nature, man tries to control nature, and then nature bites back because it's uncontrollable. Yeah. So anyhow,
we totally see it now, though.
Yeah, well, maybe in this series, maybe we will. We saw that they put the volcano in the shot, so maybe we will see geothermal power. Even
also the trailer,
geysers,
maybe we might see it.
Lava fields, things like that. That could be pretty cool.
It seems like it would be that kind of show, right? These kids are going to be exploring, and they're going to be exploring. You can't just be exploring jungle or the park itself.
Exactly.
We want to see some really cool environment. There's so many sides to Isla Nublar.
Yes.
That we need to see them all.
My only worry.
It's time to nail down the sides.
My one worry.
They've got snow on one side.
Allegedly.
There's a desert on the other side. We got to see it all.
Space world, in the portal in the middle.
Yeah.
No, so the one thing that I'm a little, I guess it's too soon to call it, but it looks like the action happens pretty quickly in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, and I was kind of hoping that we would spend some time in the open park through the camper's perspective, them going to Main Street, maybe seeing some of the attractions and rides that we never saw in the films, and the Packy Arena, that would have been pretty cool to see.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, instead of but we don't know
long,
how
right?
long.
Say that again.
No, yeah. If this is 8 episodes.
Yeah, so
yes.
They got to get going.
Well,
so you have no idea when this Indominus Rex could be.
The thing
could be towards the end of the season.
You could be right, but the thing that I noticed about these screenshots that we were given is they have episode titles in their names.
What?
Oh my God.
So, the shot at nighttime of the Raptor Squad, assuming that's right before they're let out. No, okay, that can't be because that's episode 1. So the shot of the Raptor Squad is episode 1. But you know what? Let's go. We'll go to the screenshots afterwards.
Yeah, the trailer out of the way.
Yeah, okay, so where were we in the trailer? We were at the bit where the Indominus Rex starts attacking inside Camp Cretaceous.
Yes, and
we assume.
Then the next shot is a brief shot of Toro the Carnotaurus chasing the campers and busting through a log. And we know that Toro's name is Toro because of the toys. And we know that it's probably going to serve as the series, because obviously the Indominus Rex dies pretty soon.
Yes!
So the series needed its own villain, its dinosaur, and I think it was kind of a cool idea to let the Carnotaurus get its time to shine, because we really don't...
Yeah, and I wonder, Chris, if they will be exploring, because we know they're exploring kind of what Wu was up to, what Wu was doing. and it'd be interesting to see if they explore what Crichton wrote with the Carnotaur.
The camouflage.
Yeah, the camouflage, and I know it's not, I know it was done with the Indominus Rex, but it'd be cool if they expand on that, especially how Crichton kind of did it. With the two of them. And
that's the thing; it was done with the Indominus Rex, but like the movie, we get like one scene, and it's implied that the Indominus, it's implied that maybe it was camouflaged in a few other scenes, but we never saw it and never really played out to be important for the set pieces. So I think that there's definitely...
Well, it did prank him right at the beginning. It pranked that it wasn't
pranked them.
Yeah.
Got
him, man.
It's in there with you, remember? But it was pranking them. It was hiding.
But yeah, no, what I'm saying is I think that there's totally room to see a camouflaging Carnotaurus, and I think that enough time has gone past after Jurassic World. When Fallen Kingdom was coming up and we found out the Carnotaurus was in it, we're like, no, you can't have it camouflage. It's just like, it feels too silly right after Jurassic World with the Indominus.
Yeah.
But now...
Instead they did a really realistic scene where during a volcano eruption, it comes and tries to fight.
Yeah, it tries to fight a dinosaur and eat them, and even, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so we go to one of the characters running through away from...
See...
Away from what?
So, it looks like... I think that's a continuation of the shot of the Carnotaurus. And then the next shot immediately after, though, is it looks like it could be that scene, but it's the kids running, and it's a Pteranodon swooping down. And if you notice, when the kids are running, Bumpy, the baby Ankylosaurus, is with them.
Oh, they're carrying it. I just noticed that.
Yeah, which is kind of adorable.
They are carrying it.
So I have a theory about that baby Ankylosaurus. I think we've talked about it before.
No legs.
I think that it might be...
It's a genetic modification gone wrong.
It's actually...
Like, we have to
it's actually one of the campers. They turned into a dinosaur. No, I'm wondering if it's maybe the baby of one of the Ankylosaurs that got killed by the Indominus.
Oh, sad.
And like maybe these campers watched that all go down like from the trees from afar, and then they saw this orphaned Ankylosaurus, so then they decided to take it
with no legs.
That would go with the timeline. They have the Ankylosaurus, the Pteranodons are free, so it goes with the timeline.
And it is the right Pteranodon design as well from Jurassic World, right?
Yeah, that is the Jurassic World Pteranodon, and all the dinosaur designs from Jurassic World seem right.
Well, I'm just glad it wasn't a new design. We've had enough different designs.
At
least they're sticking with one.
I don't love the Pteranodon design, but I will say that it looks at home in an animated series, if that makes sense. Like, it actually translates pretty well to this art style.
Yeah, I think it's just better than imagine what we'd be saying if it was another new.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think that we're seeing.
At least they stuck to it.
I don't think we're seeing any retcons of designs or anything like that. It'll be interesting.
Just the island now has a giant volcano visible from the same angle that you can see the island in every film.
In the one shot,
it doesn't have a volcano.
Do you remember in Jurassic World how some of the Pteranodons were different colors? Like some of them had, I think, like yellowish heads and some had blue heads, but it was like really hard to notice, and the red head ones were like the most popular ones.
Sure.
It's hard to tell, but looking at this shot, it looks like some of the Pteranodons have different colors.
I can see a yellow one.
So we're on that shot, and then more come flying in, just like Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And then we cut to pretty much the scene from Jurassic World, like similar scene with Gray and Zach in the back of the...
Oh yeah, it's shot the exact same way as Gray and Zach being chased by the raptors, which I'm fine with. It's its own scene, but it's an homage to that, and it's the Indominus.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of homages to Jurassic World in this. Obviously, we'll get to that, but there's the gyrosphere, there's this sequence. There's a lot of sequences that are directly from Jurassic World, which it's going to be cool to see again, especially in a different context, different characters.
Look at all that slobber from the Indominus. That's actually really cool.
This is the Indominus Rex, right? Yeah.
And I noticed the characters...
And then they're driving an ambulance.
The characters look really well lit, and their hair is rendered at a really high resolution. Like, the hair technology looks actually pretty decent. I know it's like a weird thing.
Yeah, so this is... You'd say this was... When would this take place? They're in an ambulance, right? Driving on a jungle road.
Probably during the evacuation.
Yeah, I mean, it's still daytime.
Yeah.
So it's probably...
It looks like a transport van, too.
There's definitely a block of a few hours where the Indominus was free that you just don't see what was happening in the movie. I mean, we get a cutaway from the Pteranodon Main Street attack to then it's nighttime. And they eventually find the Indominus. Like, there is a whole swath of time that we just don't know where the Indominus is. The last time we see the Indominus is when it busts through the Aviary.
Maybe the Indominus spends a while in this sort of in Camp Cretaceous. Then maybe she really hung out with those kids.
Yeah, it seemed like
friends.
a fun time.
Yeah,
Pranking each other for sure. Yeah.
Wait, did that just jump backwards, or did mine just jump? No, it did jump back. So then we see another shot of the zip line. Once we cut away from...
Yeah, they go back to it. This is all chronological, by the way. So after they've chased by the Indominus, they go back to the zip line. But this is...
Actually...
It is followed by an Indominus climbing the zip line, so maybe that is...
Yeah, if you notice their faces when they're going down the zip line, they look startled. So this might not be the first time they're... Oh, they might be... This might be after they've been to the zip line for fun. They might have returned to the structure to get away from the Indominus at this point.
Yeah, it looks like they're escaping.
Yeah, and the Indominus is climbing, or probably... It probably knocks or pulls the thing over.
Yeah. And then you've got the Gyrosphere Valley.
Yeah.
And what dinosaur is
that?
That
is the Sinoceratops, which is another Fallen Kingdom new dinosaur. So that's cool. That's something that we've kind of talked about.
Linking them back.
Is how it feels like some of the new species of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom weren't really seeded in Jurassic World. Because we had maps that apparently allegedly named all the species, and it did not have Sinoceratops, Carnotaurus, Allosaurus, Stygimoloch, any of that. So it's not implausible to believe that they were species that were being kept off-site or like in the north, getting ready for their debut, and that have not been publicly debuted yet. And I think that we'll probably get an answer for where they were on the island, where they came from, things like that. I always imagined they were part of an expansion plan with the Indominus Rex. Like the Indominus Rex was the headlining expansion, but like it also came with
DLC to the park.
Yeah, but it also came with a bunch of new dinosaurs as well. Like they're gonna be like introducing the Sinoceratops of Gyrosphere Valley, things along those lines.
That makes a ton of sense.
So they're in Gyrosphere Valley,
and the Sinoceratops looks nice there, by the way. Now, the valley looks really bad in that shot. I will say, this shot of the Sinoceratops in Gyrosphere Valley, it looks like previs. The mountains in the background look like a 2D matte painting, but not quite a good one. The
sky looks cool, though.
The sky looks cool, but it's not really comped in. It has a very previs-y look, where everything sort of looks like layers, where the lighting's not turned on, so it's not like real-time lighting with bounce lighting. I can't really...
No, I understand what you're saying. It's quite flat, even though there's a lot of texture and detail there.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like there's much depth to it. It looks more like a matte painting. But,
especially when you jump to the kids, when they're in the gyrosphere and it's spinning, it looks like there's no lighting. And that's probably... That's the problem about lighting overcast scenes in 3D animation. Overcast scenes, when you're using real-time or your best approximation of real-time lighting engines, means that you just get this washed-out look, and everything just no textures pop anymore. Shadows really don't pop, and everything kind of gives a flat look. It's a flaw that you have to work around sometimes, and it doesn't look like they really work. They didn't find a way to light the scene and cheat it to make everything pop.
But the weather in Jurassic World was never stormy, was never cloudy.
It did rain,
like
didn't
that,
it, at one point before the escape of the raptors?
It was supposed to rain. Yeah, it's
never during the day though, right? So this sequence takes place during the day, so we can assume this is pre the Indominus breakout.
Or this could be after.
No, it can't be. But then the weather doesn't make sense, right?
But it could be before the Indominus breakout. Like it could be a day before. Like, hey, before Zach and Greg got to the island, the day before that, it was a rainy day. And just because they're being rammed by a Sinoceratops doesn't mean things went wrong. They could just be doing things that people do, and they had access to something they shouldn't have had access to. And I mean, rhinos ram cars in safari drive-thrus, and safari drive-thrus don't shut down because of that. So,
you know what, dude? I'm gonna make a call. This is right before the InGen attack.
The InGen attack?
When the InGen go after the Indominus.
With the overcast? I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, well, maybe
this is before. It's like an hour or two before.
It does, right? It cuts kind of to night, from daytime to night.
Yeah, the ground's obviously wet.
So then maybe this is the clouds coming in.
Okay.
Rain for a couple hours.
So this could be after the Main Street attack and before the evening.
Yeah, exactly.
But
then the balls are running, though. That doesn't make sense.
On the gyrospheres, no.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Never mind.
No, it's got to be earlier. Anyway, let's move on to the red tunnel. Because everybody's talking about the red tunnel.
This is a geothermal, guarantee it.
That would be really cool. So we have a shot of the campers in a dark, red, moody tunnel, and they are running from a Carnotaurus. And that
very Stand By Me. Mine is the Carnotaur. Just replace the Carnotaur with a Demogorgon.
I like the style of that shot. Again, there's something off with the lighting, in my opinion. Like the pipes to the right look very low poly, and they don't seem to be.
Yeah, they look kind of smooth, eh?
Again, this might look better in 4K when you have a bunch of textures that like we can't see in the compression from YouTube, but maybe there's textures there. I mean, it's hard to say. I just will say that the lighting could have probably used a little more pop in a lot of this trailer, because sometimes it just has a very flat look. But yeah, it's a really cool shot. I love the atmosphere. I'm really curious. Yeah, do you think it's the geothermal powers or geothermal?
I think so. Give the big pipes on the side that carry the power and shit, right?
I think
it's like from the game.
At the very least, we're gonna get a little bit more context about the tunnel system that the baryonyx was inside of, probably.
Good point too. Yeah.
And so we'll kind of get an idea of like what that is. And I think the concept is there's supposed to be a big underground tunnel network that runs all throughout Nublar.
Well, there was so cool. That's in the canon of Jurassic Park as well. That's how the paddocks connected, the vehicles were connected. It's how they brought food to the paddocks and things like that. Something that's never really been explored, and funnily enough, was kind of explored in the John Sayles script, or I think they were trying to explore that with the Excavaraptors. Like the raptors had kind of got into the tunnels and were using that. That was cool.
Yeah. So, by the way, I know that the film, we're not the biggest fans. I mean, I know I'm not I don't want to speak for you right now, but I'm not the biggest fan of hybrids. However, do you think that we might see new hybrids in the
strains, or just you mean the dinosaurs?
The dinosaurs. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, out for hybrid dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of hybrid dinosaurs. Didn't say I'm not.
Dinosaurs, no.
No, not dinosaurs. But
what have you got? No, it is. I kind of agree with you there, but that's what I like, that this teaser is, it's just Ceratosaurus, right?
That's Carnotaurus.
Carnotaurus, sorry. It's just Carno.
Yeah. But it could be...
It's got a bunch of...
The series could introduce hybrids. Maybe, like, we can see the Stegoceratops, because we have to assume that exists, because it was in, like, the readout of it was in Wu's lab. So that might be a little cool thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. There are fans that definitely want to see that.
Yeah, I think that this is the way to do it. If you're going to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Do it in the show. It doesn't need to be a big part of it.
Do it in a kid's show.
Do it in the show. But get the design
so
right.
they're running down the red tunnel, and then the Carnotaur smacks against... If you freeze it at the right time, its eyes wide open, like, oh, fuck. What have I done?
Oh, you know what? That might be my issue with some of these shots, is the lens doesn't seem to be acting like a real lens in terms of depth of field and focal points. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I get what you're
because
saying. Yeah, it's kind of just...
I wouldn't know.
Because the next shot that you see of the raptors, what I'm noticing about that shot is it looks so good, the lighting seems to be turned up to 10, but the lens is also acting like a real lens, and it immediately gives us this sense of this deeper sense of focus, this tighter sense of focus, and it...
But it is a wide-angle lens. That's the funny thing about it.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. But it's got that depth.
The depth, and it makes the lighting pop. But also the lighting looks top-notch in that scene. Darius looks...
The sky looks good too.
Cool,
and this is dusk, right?
Yeah.
It's good. This is a really well-rendered shot. I mean, from the YouTube compression.
Yeah, the YouTube compression is awful.
But the raptors... Raptors, I'll always take raptors, Matt, but they don't look on first glance like, Blue... And the raptors from Jurassic, they just look like raptors, I guess.
They do look a little more Jurassic Parky, except for they don't have their pubic bone, which makes them Jurassic World. But yeah, no, they look a little off. I mean, they're harder to recognize there, but then again, we're in low lighting. We do know that they retcon their designs a little bit, especially Echo. Echo went from like a light,
different color,
like a light yellowish beige tan color with like teal stripes, low saturated teal stripes, to like a dark brown with like a reddish hue over top of that, and then dark brown stripes. And it's strange that they changed her and not like Charlie or Delta, considering those two looked vaguely similar because they're both green raptors. Mm-hmm. So they could have differentiated one of them, maybe really pushed the values of their colors and, really emphasize their striping more.
Especially for this show, too.
Yeah, but it's weird because the show...
Animated, like, TV show,
Yeah, it's weird because they built all the dinosaurs from the IOM assets. Like, they've obviously stylized them slightly and, reduce the amount of detail, among other things. But they did build them from the IOM assets, so they did have to go out of their way to change Echo's appearance, which is odd. But we know that Universal, with the Raptor Squad, really doesn't like... they don't like getting it right, as we've seen with Mattel.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like, what's the point? Like, why would you even want to change it?
I don't understand the point. People are saying, oh, so they differentiate more, but out of the Raptor Squad, Blue and Echo were incredibly unique. It was Charlie and Delta that were too samey in some of the lighting situations where you could, like, if you had them side by side in a well-lit scene, you could tell they're different. One was like lime green,
but at
black
night,
stripes.
they all look the same.
And then the other one was green with like darker green stripes, but it was more on a bluish green scale. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird to change it. But anyhow, I like this shot of the Raptors, and it looks scary as hell. I just don't know what Darius is doing.
Yeah, what the hell is he doing
inside of the Raptor paddock? Meanwhile, watch it be like a nightmare sequence. Like they see it during... No, you know what? Someone's behind him.
Also, he has his jacket back on, too, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He didn't have that. That's interesting.
So that might be able to place the timeline of the events. Like this... Well, again, I said the shot of the Raptor, it said it was episode 1. So on his first day at Camp Cretaceous, he falls into the Raptor paddock. Unless...
Oh my god, safety.
Unless the show does a cold open, where it opens in some chaos set further in the series, and then flashbacks to before things went wrong, and then catches up to it.
I don't like that type of style.
Start with a little bit of action. Start with the action a bit, so that people know that the show gets serious, but then have like 1 or 2 episodes before things go wrong. They could do that. And that
I do notice though in this scene that there's like a warning light flashing.
Yeah.
So someone's obviously there. They're gonna get the kid out, but like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they obviously are.
How does he get to the point where he's in there?
I don't know. And then there's another shot, and I obviously know this isn't the case. So right after that, it's the Pteranodon smacking up at the glass. Yeah. That's really cool. But my immediate thought was, is she singing karaoke? Because it looks like a karaoke mic. But I do not think that's the case.
What do you think it is? A flare?
It could be a microphone. I don't know though. It's got a really like big red utility stripe.
Oh, it's a torch, man.
Yeah, what are you guys talking about? It's a flashlight.
Is it?
Yeah, just
I don't know.
On about?
Maybe I just have it paused at a wrong. Oh yeah. The frame really made it look like a mic the way I paused it, like the compression. But yeah, no, that's a cool shot.
Terrible.
Yeah, it is a cool shot.
No, but look how the Pteranodon looks so off against the rest of the scene, though. It looks so pasted in.
The Pteranodon looks like it has a completely different focal lens than the characters, is the thing.
It's so weird.
It looks too out of, like, the way that it is focused in the shot just seems off. But again, that might be the compression. Sometimes compression can make things look really funky in these situations.
It looks like Jaws 3D, that scene where the shark like pasted on into the thing and just attacking.
I don't think it doesn't look that bad. I mean, like, Jack,
no, it's not bad.
The depth of field is the depth of field off on that, or do you think it's just?
It is hard to tell because it's such a short clip and it's like trying to pause it at the right times. But I know what you're saying. It does look odd, like the perspective. It's really hard to pinpoint. But yeah, the Pteranodon doesn't look quite right, like the scale of it and the way it's kind of shot. But either way, it stops her from singing. She has to...
This really could have... I think what really would have helped this is subsurface scattering and ray tracing for some of the lighting effects. If we could have got some more...
Maybe just a wider shot, man. Maybe they should have just cut out more. Or...
Well, the next shot is what really makes me think...
Maybe the angle is wrong.
The next shot...
You can't really tell... It looks like... I think what it is the windows look like they're at one like perspective, and then the Pteranodon looks like it's kind of like 30 degrees in the other direction.
I think that when we'll see it in the show, that shot won't be so bad.
You're probably right.
YouTube's compression is really bad, and so this was only uploaded in 1080p, and not even the best like bitrate of 1080p. So I think that's really going to help the appearance. And again, I'm looking at a lot of these shots, and some of the worst looking shots are the ones where the sky is all foggy. Like all overcast, which of course is not great for lighting like this. But the next shot...
But we go back to daytime.
Which is, again, look at the sky, though. It's overcast. And look how they sort of look like they're plastic figurines. This is where I think subsurface scattering...
I don't think that's the sky if it's the first shot. That's just like background mountains, it looks like. Oh, no. Yeah, if they go back to Jurassic, are we talking about the lake?
The boat, yeah. They look very plasticky,
Yeah, so...
and that's where I think ray tracing and subsurface scattering would help, especially with their look devs for their skin.
But where is this then? Is it the Mosasaur?
I think so, because that looks like
the hotel.
That looks like the hotel right
would it be?
behind them.
Yeah.
Why they're in that water in a raft?
These kids are dumb, dude.
I don't know.
Dumb kids.
That mosasaur looks scary as anything. I don't know. That looks like an emergency raft, so maybe they had to go do something. Maybe they have to go help
or
someone.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's another Mosasaur arena we just didn't see in the movies.
It's on the
Nah,
other side of the island.
that's
Yeah, this could be the other side of the island where Jurassic World, the extension was.
that's
There was a
definitely
hotel
that's
there
definitely
and-
the hotel. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out why they're in there. So,
But why don't we know
I
now?
want it now.
And then we go back to the storm, which looks like almost that scene pulled straight from Fallen Kingdom. They're in the
It
gyrosphere.
does kind of have that look of Fallen Kingdom, gyrosphere. Animals are running. It's grayish out. This is a scene that I think also will probably look a lot better when we have it on our TV, because right here it's just all it is compression artifacts.
Yeah, and then we're back to the Indominus Rex
That's a nice looking
in the
shot.
daytime.
That's a cool environment. I like that environment.
Yeah, the shipping containers.
Yeah, it's really cool. You know what it reminds me of? Jurassic Park the game. I'm getting a lot of callbacks to it, man.
You know what, Asees? Do you actually like that game?
No, I think it's one of the worst games ever made, but I'm seeing a lot of callbacks to it. Like the tunnels, this scene at the end with Jerry Harding.
I tried to play that game and I couldn't, so I just watched a YouTube.
Oh my
playthrough
god,
of
it's so horrible.
it,
with your
it
own
plays
self?
better
Like,
when you watch it.
The
as a video.
gameplay, it's a shame because they created so many similar games that were so good, and for some reason,
Yeah, Walking Dead
their
came out
Jurassic
next,
Park
and it was
game-
amazing.
Their Jurassic Park game, the controls were just so broken, and the story wasn't too bad. It could have used a little more polish, but yeah, it was just the gameplay of the Jurassic Park game. It's a shame
It
though. I
was
would
some
have
bad
liked,
direction. I don't know what happened.
yeah, like all their other like their The Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead,
Perfect.
things like that. They're great, and they're the same format of like cinematic storytelling or whatnot. I would have
Even the Back to the Future ones
Yeah.
that came out just before,
That was good, too.
I think. Yeah,
It
that
came
was
out
good.
before,
You
yeah.
know, I just saw Back to the Future 2 for the first time like a month or so ago. I didn't like
For the
it.
first time?
I did not like it. I liked Back to the
For the
Future.
first
Yeah,
time?
for the first time. I still need to see number 3.
Dude, wow.
But I
okay.
did not like Back to the Future 2. It felt like a direct-to-DVD rehash of Back to the Future. Back to the Future I saw for the first time completely a few months ago, and I loved it. What a great
okay.
movie. What a great movie.
Dropping bombs,
But
man.
Back to the Future 2 I did not think was good. So I think I've given myself enough time, and I'll watch Back to the Future 3 soon.
That's some serious shit.
That one isn't good.
No.
3 isn't good, no.
People said their favorite was 2, and
What?
it
Yeah,
did
I
not
like
click
2.
with me. I thought it was really bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the future concept. That's cool.
Everyone says it's the perfect trilogy, the Back to the Future movies, but like
Oh, get real.
No, it's definitely
from
not.
number 1 to number
Yeah.
2, that jump of quality, that was enough for me to go, well, again, I didn't grow up with these movies. So for me, they're not untouchable. When people say don't make a Back to the Future movie again, after seeing number 2, I'm like, I don't really consider that untouchable status. So
It's just nostalgia.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen things that rings more true for. But anyhow,
I'm surprised. I am surprised, Chris, that you hadn't seen Back to the Future 2. But yeah, back to Camp Cretaceous.
2.
Camp Cretaceous 2, yeah. 2 Camp, 2 Cretaceous.
So the Indominus shot in the shipping containers. That's
it. It's
Darius is
right,
running.
Darius'
He
shirt
does not have
is more
his yellow
destroyed than
jacket.
This happens much later, I'm assuming. But the Indominus is still alive. This makes no sense.
And then there is that shot from the zipline shot of the Mosasaur,
Zara.
just
Yeah.
about to. What did I say her name? Is that Yaz?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's about to be. Imagine if she actually gets eaten.
In the same way by the
That would be
Mosasaur, and they just move
horrifying,
on.
though.
None of the kids reference it.
Yeah, that would be horrifying if the show actually has one of the kids get eaten. I don't think
That thing is massive.
Yeah, that's definitely the Fallen Kingdom Mosasaur.
Oh, you know what? The cable she's hanging on starts moving right at the end.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, she gets away. Just in the nick of time. And then there's this
Cool
like,
shot,
really ominous shot of, I assume that's like the Camp Cretaceous headquarters or whatnot. Yeah, because that looks like a Jurassic Park style climbing wall there. You can see the buildings outside.
Yeah.
and I guess it's
I
their like
thought it was blood.
Football table or something.
yeah, like the map.
It's a very
Actually, if you notice,
shot.
there's a map there. What's really funny is there's crayons next to it, and none of these people look like they're crayon age kids.
That's the map designers. That's the map designers for Jurassic World.
But we might be able
Got a bunch of crayons.
we might actually see where this is on the island. We might actually get a definitive species list. Like if we have the maps and stuff like that at this point, I think that we might get a little more hard lock of like the lagoon and different things like along those lines. In fact,
We'll finally know which side we're going to.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll know what
It's
side,
cool to see
what
this
other side of the other
environment,
side of the other side of the island it is. Camp is open, not the camp is open. Camp is open.
Camp is open. Summer camp.
Camp is open.
Cool
Come to
trailer. I like
Jurassic
the trailer.
World.
It's cool.
And yeah, it was very dark and moody and mysterious. It's rated TV PG. I did not notice that before, so we do have our rating TV PG. Which I
Clone Wars was TV PG, I'm sure.
What was?
Clone Wars. And that stuff got dark as hell.
was it. Hold on, I can find out.
Please do.
PGTV. They could push it a bit. I mean,
You can do a
it'd be nice
lot with
if it
PG.
did have some genuine terror in it.
I'll have terror.
still, you know,
no one's gonna die in the
like-
show.
Yeah, well,
Well, I mean, I think that the camp counselors will die, and
Nah.
I think
yes.
I don't think that they're going to die immediately. They'll probably hang on to them for a while, but they'll eventually get a kill there. I think that's.
I think the more important question though is which kid would you want to die?
Oh,
Oh my god. I'm not answering.
oh my god. Hold on, I'm trying to see what Star Wars Rebels is rated. I don't know where to check.
Not
that.
Rebels, Clone Wars.
Well, I
Rebels is more childlike.
Yeah, but even Rebels does some pretty crazy stuff.
Oh, it gets pretty dark, I guess, too, yeah. Season 2 gets pretty brutal.
Yeah, hold on. I don't know how to check this. Can you check it? Because it's hard for me to
Yeah.
check
I'm on it.
because I don't have my keyboard plugged in right now.
And then we've got, so that end logo, you've got Jurassic World logo, and then it fades in with Camp Cretaceous. You have the Universal logo, DreamWorks Television, and Amblin
And then
Entertainment as well.
we get the shot of the T-Rex busting through the Camp Cretaceous gate.
Yeah, so let's talk about this, because is this Mama Rex? Is this Lady Rex?
Yes, this is the Rex.
This is she.
Yeah, that should be.
This is it.
I mean, I don't see offhand. I don't think I see the scars, but I don't think that they're going to suddenly introduce a new Tyrannosaur into the island. I think that if they were going to put another T-Rex on the island, they would probably make it a male.
Different color.
Yeah, I think that they would make it look a little different. I don't think that they would make it look just like the Rex from the movie. And
The gates are on, though. Flaming gates.
the flames are on the gates, and she busts through it. So anyhow, so that's the trailer.
Christopher, I can
Yes.
confirm Clone Wars, final season at least, TV PG.
Okay, cool. So that's nothing to worry about too much there.
Nope, no concern there.
Yeah, so that's the end of the trailer, and then you get the classic Netflix logo, and it says September
18th, pretty soon. All episodes streaming at once, which I'm not the biggest
Hell
fan
yeah.
of.
Why?
I don't mind.
I'm gonna binge the shit out
It
of that
doesn't for especially like what we do as a community. If everyone was going through the show at the same pace each week, was able to talk about the same episode and talk about what was
Exactly,
going to happen and what they think happened, I think that would be more conductive for a better conversation, and we would have potentially 8 weeks of compelling Jurassic conversation. Assuming.
Well, I miss those days, man. Message boards and watching. Like I was an avid Lost
and it would
fan
be really
through
fun.
the whole run of that show. So every week having a new episode with such a mysterious show filled with things. There's so much to discuss and figure out, and you just enjoy reading people's theories. You know, that might not be what happens, but it's fun.
There's no shortage of opportunity for discourse or the want for discourse within the Jurassic community, talking about things, what they think that they're seeing, and I think that episode to episode arc would have been really great to really build a conversation, and we could have seen, I think that it could have built a lot of anticipation, a lot of payoff, and a lot of surprise. Obviously, that's all going to happen, but it's not going to be as much of a shared experience throughout the community. Everyone's going to watch it at their own rate and then go, I like the show. I didn't like the show. What do you think the ending meant? But they're not going to talk about
did you see last week's episode? It's more like, did you watch Camp Cretaceous?
Yeah, did you like it?
For that,
what do you think season 2 is going to do? But that's about the extent of it. I don't think that we're going to see as much we're not going to have people a whole swath of people talking about episode 4 or whatnot, or episode. Let's see what episode the bioluminescent Parasaurs. That's episode 6, by the way, the Parasaurs.
So let's talk about that screenshot because that was released alongside the trailer and things like that. So we've got the one with the big red horn, the pompadour, Elvis.
Yes. So,
but it lights up now. Like
it's bioluminescent, which is really, I love that idea.
Avatar style.
I really love it.
It does look like Avatar.
Yeah, with the sky as
Yeah.
well.
I like that
I
scene.
wonder
It
what
looks cool.
are those stars or those fireflies? I'm trying to figure out what.
Fireflies.
Very dense pack of fireflies.
I mean, I don't know. Are they like bioluminescent spores? That looks like the galaxy.
Maybe this is an inside lagoon where they're using light.
It's a beautiful shot. I will say one thing that we've seen with the water,
cool.
the water doesn't seem to react to boats and animals or like paddles or anything like that very much. It could use some like tessellation.
It's hard to do good water, man. It's hard to do good water.
I was saying this though, is we have movies that are using Unreal Engine as their CGI. I mean, that's literally what The Mandalorian uses for its backdrop on everything is their CGI is through Unreal Engine in real time. I don't see why they should continue to use their own proprietary engines that don't have like physics for water and atmosphere and everything like that and lighting solutions when you could just use Unreal Engine, license Unreal Engine, and end up porting all these models in there with a higher density. They can immediately populate the grass. They don't have to model. They can model their own things and bring their own things in, but there's also assets available to them. There's lighting solutions available to them. There's water physics available to them right from the package. This is a bit of a tangent, but why is nobody using Unreal Engine for animated series? Again, if you're going to do 3D animated series, use the top-of-the-line engine that has these solutions booked into it and that has all the support that Unreal Engine has.
I'm sure they will going forward, especially with the success of The Mandalorian.
I mean, think of how good this would look in that engine. Just with
it'd be
water,
incredible.
tessellation, atmosphere, general depth of field, lighting effects, ray tracing, subsurface scattering, everything like that. Like, it's all baked into the engine. And because they have to do a hard render, they don't even have to keep running it in real time. They could really push everything up to the next level.
I mean, Asees, you just said, right, it's hard to do water, but it used to be hard to do water.
The thing is,
like, we saw the development over years of like, oh, check out this piece of software. They made this water. I mean,
but
even like the Pixar films.
People still get water wrong today, though, even in some video games.
Yeah, as shown here for sure.
Sure, yeah, and that's the thing is,
I totally get what you're saying. Maybe there's probably huge problems to using that engine though that we don't.
There might be.
Like,
I think a lot of
so many pros, but there's probably a lot of cons.
You gotta learn a lot of stuff.
I think a lot of studios. Well, I had this conversation with some people in VFX a few months ago about Camp Cretaceous specifically, and some of them had experience with Unreal Engine, and they entirely agreed. They said no, it would make total sense. A lot of houses have stubbornly clung on to their proprietary engines and render systems, sometimes for good reasons, and other times it's just because it's what they've done. But the problem is it costs a lot of money to develop your own water physics engine. And
but then maybe this whole thing comes down to money, like the budget that Universal actually threw down for this.
Again, but then with Unreal, I don't think the licensing fees are too much. I don't know what it's like in TV though. I only know the game aspect.
No, but they're probably not trained in it. The
yeah,
people that animate
for sure,
aren't
for
trained
sure.
in it.
That's another thing. Is you have to learn a whole new engine. You have to learn how to rig and animate characters in that new engine. No, there are a lot of trade-offs with it. Don't get me wrong, but now knowing that those tools are available, like literally you and I could license Unreal Engine and probably composite a scene. Like, we don't have the talent, we don't have the animation talent or whatnot, but we could probably use the tools, if assuming that we had all the models handed to us, we can use the tools of the scene and composite it looking better. Now we can never animate it and anything along those lines. That would, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like I don't know if you saw this recently over the past couple of days. They remastered, well, some random dudes remastered GTA San Andreas, but they used Unreal Engine. So you've got this like game from the PS2 era.
That's cool.
And it's been built in the Unreal, and it's just this incredible looking game. I mean, you can tell it's an old game. Some of the textures aren't there, but just use it, like porting the game to Unreal Engine.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
I mean,
then that's 3 people doing an entire, like imagine a whole team and a few mil behind it, a little bit of milli.
Yeah,
some Universal milli doll.
But no, this shot's good. I like the Parasaurs. They seem to be their Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom designs, which are pretty close to the Jurassic Park designs.
Yeah, it looked pretty
Yeah,
good.
I can't tell if...
I don't remember the glowing stuff from Lost World.
No, but
that was a daytime
yeah,
scene. So.
I think that's honestly, I think this is a really cool idea. I think this is a good way to explore the wildness and weirdness of Jurassic World in a more natural way. This is something that you see in nature, and I think that this is a...
Or is it just a way to sell toys?
Well, the toy... There's
toy?
a toy, but it's not glowing, so I don't think that's the case. I think this is more of a... wanting to add some of the awe and majesty to it. And this is not the first bioluminescent dinosaur in Jurassic World. You know that, right?
Who else?
Jurassic World Live Tour had bioluminescent stegosaurs. And
that's not canon, is it?
Well, I don't know. At this point, I don't know.
It's a gray area. It was on a different side of the island anyway.
A different side of the canon. But Live Tour says that they were going to have nighttime viewing and nighttime parades of dinosaurs, and they wanted to make it easier to see dinosaurs at night and have a beautiful way of doing that. So
that'd be really
Ms.
cool.
Ronnie,
so instead of using lights, they light the dinosaurs.
Ms. Ronnie had Woo engineer some of the dinosaurs with cuttlefish DNA.
Right.
For bioluminescence.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I think it's perfect for the Parasaurs. They look great like that, and it just, I don't know, it brings back that sort of sense of majesty and magic to the dinosaurs, and it reminds us, hey, they're not monsters. And I don't think the new movies have done a really great job with that.
I don't know. I mean, this kind of takes it more down the monster route.
I don't think so. This feels more natural.
I'm with Chris on this.
This feels very Crichton.
Man.
This feels very Crichton to me.
No, I agree the idea, but just looking at them, it doesn't scream like wild animal. It screams genetically engineered, dino.
It's very unlikely.
Like hybrid.
It's very unlikely that dinosaurs would present with bioluminescence like this, but it's not entirely impossible. A lot of times there are animals that have similar displays, but a lot of times it's an ultraviolet, like a light that we cannot see with our eyes, but they can, so that they're like glowing. So again, this is something that actually does happen in nature. I think this is handled pretty well. I like the way it looks. It's a little exaggerated, but everything in Jurassic Park is a little exaggerated. The idea that dinosaurs could be brought back from mosquitoes with amber is exaggerated. The size of the Brachiosaurus in Jurassic Park is exaggerated. I think this hits that fine line where it's just believable enough, and it sure is stunning looking.
It does look nice. It's a lovely shot. So the next screenshot is.
I do want to mention while we're still in that screenshot, if you notice, Bumpy is in the kayak and staring at the one Parasaur with a look of awe on its face. Like, it's actually adorable there.
I like Bumpy. Bumpy's cool.
The life jackets have the little Jurassic.
Yeah,
logo on.
That's a nice little touch. I believe they did in Jurassic World. During the kayak scene, I believe that all these props did have the Jurassic World logo on them. We just never really saw those props very close by the camera.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So the next shot is the kids in the back of the truck looking up at the Jurassic World gate. Every single one of them looks excited and happy, except for the neurotic one.
He looks terrified.
Yeah, the Franklin.
I
don't want to be here.
I think that there's a better way to play to those tropes without making it so outright. So, I mean, hopefully it's just he's a little sheepish, but not, like, overblown. Like, I hope that's not every time we see his character is just him freaking out.
I kind of hope it is. That'd be funny.
So then the next shot we have...
Maybe he should be the one to die.
The next shot...
God,
you just want everyone to die.
The next shot there is the Brachiosaurus.
The Brachiosaur herd. So there's a few things that you can notice in the scene.
She looks good. This is a nice shot.
And you see the zip line going through the sky.
Yeah, no, that's the wire that they're using to hold
the dinosaurs up. You have these two kind of InGen security looking goons or park workers on the ATVs, and I'm sure these are the type of people that we're going to see eaten on the show. It's probably mostly going to happen off camera or cutaways, but these people are going to be eaten. But there's a few things. So we notice the ankylosaurs in the herd, the Sinoceratops, Parasaurs, Brachiosaurus. But the thing that I'm noticing is the Stegosaurus is different looking. It is gray with dark gray stripes.
Yeah, and I like it.
There was a rumor that we might see male Stegosaurus in the series. So
has the low tail, like a low swinging, like low hanging tail.
That's just the Jurassic World Stegosaurus. I mean, it's the same design as the Jurassic World Stegosaurus. It's just different colors.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be sexual dimorphism. I think that there's a good chance that it might be. Considering we know that this series is, especially from the toys, we know the series is going to dive into more unique colorations for some of the animals. But we can get to that.
It's a cool. This is a really nicely composited.
Oh, the
shot,
colors
You've
are
got
beautiful.
Really nice skyline. The sunset coming in. This is golden hour.
Yeah.
Even the individual grass, like, it looks really good. This is
This is a
clearly,
good scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
What episode is
it's
this?
That one is episode 1.
Oh, cool.
Nice. What do you think they're doing? Rounding them
It
up,
kind of
getting them
does look
back
like
in
they're
their pen?
herding them in, doesn't it? Like
Yeah,
they're stopping
Cool.
them from going
This is
too
gonna be
off.
so cool, man. Fuck. I'm pumped.
So we probably will get these kind of exploration scenes where we just get to see
The
dinosaurs
park.
in
Wide
their
shots,
paddocks.
yeah, exactly.
I want to see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
park.
things-
I want to see park workers. Fuck. Make a show about park workers like doing everyday shit. I'll watch the.
I
shit out of
I
that.
want to see how the park operates. That's the thing. Is I hope
Yeah,
that
man.
things don't go to chaos too soon, because I hope we can get a few episodes of us exploring the park. That would be really cool. Just again, like I said, the Pack Arena and some of those other locations that we've never seen. See how they feed some of the animals. See some of the
Yeah,
troubles that
man.
they.
This is so cool.
I think it's a good opportunity to see what the park is. So then the next shot, and again, this is another. It looks like they just really bumped up the budget for this shot of the raptors, because even
You
look,
gotta sell those raptors, man.
look at the way the teeth of Blue are rendered. They look really nice. The depth of field's nice. The asset quality is nice. The teeth
It's
look
cool
like
looking scene.
teeth. The material work looks really good. I'd say the only issue with comp is down to the feet where they're touching the ground. But that's a minor nitpick there. But yeah, no, it's a really nice shot, and I love just the look of it.
Episode
Yeah,
one
it's
is
nice
all
pink
interesting.
and blue.
Yeah, and it looks like I can't. It looks like it goes. It looks like it goes Delta Echo Blue Charlie, but I can't tell, to be entirely honest with you.
They all look the same in this.
So
Interesting.
then we get another shot of the characters hiding behind. Is that the same ambulance from the trailer?
I-
Looks like maybe
Because
because they've got the baby.
yeah, it's
there.
not the 6x6, so it's probably that van ambulance thing that
Yeah, it's
they're
the transport van.
running from the Indominus
Yeah.
from. And then there's the little baby Bumpy, just again looking very. They're all looking up. What's
Yeah.
kind of funny is their faces don't
Episode
look
6.
terrified. Some of them look appalled. Some of them just look. I don't know. The range of expressions on their face.
Who's the character right in the back with the pink hair?
What's her name?
Because
The
she's the
social
one with
media one.
with the phone, the social media girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. She's like turning her nose. Maybe she represents the Zach of this show. You know, the uninterested. But then why would she be?
Yeah,
there?
see, that's the thing. I hope that we don't have the premise of anybody being uninterested. Not everyone needs to be hyper interested in the dinosaurs, but again, I think that it would just play better if the people here had a little bit of engagement. We don't need that sort of.
Yeah. Well, they all came to a camp.
We
for
don't need
it,
that
so
nihilistic.
you'd hope.
I don't necessarily think that this show needs a nihilistic approach for some of the characters. Be one thing if they, were a little more. If we did Child Malcolm, this is all doomed to fail. Chaos. But yeah, okay, so then the next shot we see what looks like the camp counselors in the 6x6 towing a gyrosphere.
So this could come directly after the sequence where that gyrosphere gets smacked by the
Yeah,
dinosaurs we see in the trailer, and then they kind of
come
so
and
this is all
rescue them.
because the sky's the same.
Yeah, and
so this is all pre.
and if that's the case, guess what episode this is? This is episode 3.
So there's gonna be some time, man.
Yeah.
There's gonna be 3 episodes before the Indominus breaks out. We assume.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, Indominus doesn't. It looks like Indominus is still like out and about by episode 6.
Yeah.
So maybe this is it. Maybe this season takes place prior and during.
And like right at the
And
end of
then-
it.
If they were gonna release season 2 like this year too.
Yeah, that makes sense, I
know
guess.
they're not now, but maybe that's during and after Jurassic World.
I think that this is mostly before, and then I think the events of Jurassic World might go down pretty quickly. I bet you the Indominus is dead by the end of this season, and it probably establishes Toro as the big bad, the Carnotaurus. But the next shot of the kid hugging Bumpy, the baby Ankylosaurus, which is also pretty cute, that is episode 5.
Learns to love the dinosaurs.
He's got a blue shirt like Grant.
He does.
Come on. This could be it. This could be the Grant character.
And no, because Darius is the one who is the Jurassic Park. I mean, not Jurassic Park expert, the dinosaur expert, the dino nerd. Dino nerd.
Yo, guys, where it says season 1,
Darius
episode
likes
5,
dinos.
It has like a time thing beside it.
Yeah,
0006
yeah, it looks like
2919.
timestamps. So that might
Yeah,
be 6.
interesting.
What, these screenshots? Have they literally just taken them out of...
I think it's literal screenshots because it has time codes on every single one of them.
Yeah, it's like episode 6, 0004 18 14. So I don't know if that's like episodes.
The Raptors happen episode 1, 22 minutes, 31 seconds in.
Let me take a look at this. I need to take a look.
That'd be hilarious if they did that.
Let's see. Right.
By the way, you can find these lovely screenshots.
Okay, well,
on
what's
JurassicOutpost.com.
strange? What's strange is season 1, episode 2 is apparently the T-Rex busting through the Camp Cretaceous gates. So
How do you,
Episode 2.
the only thing I could think of is we're gonna have either this does all go down quicker than we realize, or we are going to have a kind of a jumping back and forth between before and after. So that we can have...
Yeah, those are time codes. Yes. Sorry, yeah, I've only just seen the actual names of the image. Season 1, Episode 1. Wow, they're explicit. Season 1,
Oh, then if that's the
the
case,
Raptors.
this Episode 2 shot of the T-Rex breaking through the gate is only 40 seconds in, which really makes me think that each episode's going to have a like inciting incident.
like a title card.
Like a title card of like what happens afterwards before it goes back to like 36 hours prior. And then...
So the shot of them by the ambulance, sorry, with, you know, where they're all looking up and they've got the baby dinosaur. That's episode 6.
Yes.
So...
And that seems like that's probably...
the timeline of this, episode 3 for the Jeep. That's so interesting. Episode 5 where they're hugging the baby and he's covered in mud.
Yeah.
And yeah, the T-Rex is episode 2. Yeah, you could be right though. They could be part of an inciting incident or...
You know what? I just looked at the
If it's only
screenshot.
six
Like the logo itself
seconds in.
breaking open, it looks kind of cartoony and like not a part of the world. So like, I can totally see that being like, oh, Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous, and then
That could be
it
like our
ends with the
title
T-Rex.
open. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I could also really see these... I could see these episodes, especially before things go wrong, starting out with just crazy chaos happening. You'd be like, what is going on? And then you get that like 48 hours before this. And then it's like, welcome to Camp Cretaceous. And then like we eventually catch up by the end of the season or something like that is sort of how I could see that going down. And that could be a good way to get some action into each episode.
sure.
While also taking its time before things go awry.
Yeah, sounds good to me, man.
I just noticed there's a lot of comments on this article comparatively.
Yep. Yeah, I was approving him.
People are
good.
excited for this. You see how much the Instagram post is just... I mean, I don't know how many comments it's on now, but it was on a lot.
Just blew up.
People...
It was interesting. The the post I put up about Jurassic Park UK, I got like 2,500.
Yeah, people were really...
like, a lot of likes.
People were really excited
Yeah,
about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, people seem to be very positively receiving this information. People are excited for the show.
Yeah.
We have 70 comments on the Instagram post about the trailer, which is pretty good. Of course, the shot of the characters and the raptors that we put up a few weeks ago has 92 comments, so it comes with the territory.
Yes, for sure.
It's not like an old school pod.
But yeah, no.
It does feel that. It does feel that way.
Yeah.
We actually have
Emergency
something.
pods.
Like we're analyzing.
We
a
have
trailer.
something to look at and analyze.
Yeah.
So we have a decent amount to go off of here. The trailer plays it pretty straight and serious. So how do you think the show's going to handle its tone?
By the trailer, you do get the vibe that this is going down. It's got a more Jurassic Park vibe. I think the music helps a lot with that. The build up to these events, the awe and wonder shots. It feels more Jurassic Park than it does Jurassic World in that sense. But obviously, it's a trailer. They can do a lot with mood.
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised they didn't do any goofy jokes or throwaway one-liners or anything like that in the trailer. Like they really.
Don't be Chris. Don't be surprised.
Yeah, be happy.
No, I'm very happy. That's the thing.
This is an adult show for very
mean,
mature adults.
I don't think that's the case.
There's no time for
But
slapstick in this
we
bitch.
know. So we talked about Star Wars Rebels and the Clone Wars earlier, and we've talked about it on other podcasts way back when. But I mean, do you want to talk about real quick, Asees, like what those shows are for Star Wars and how that could maybe apply to Jurassic, assuming that they stick the landing here?
Oh boy, yeah. So it pretty much fills in the big timelines that you've always wanted to see. Like they cover like 2-3 years, but like for Clone Wars at least and Rebels, but you get to see an expansive universe in canon. God, I wasn't prepared to talk about this. Fuck.
And
but for Jurassic, like it could bring in new elements to the canon. So like when you're watching the movies again, it's like a whole. I don't even know how to explain.
Well, that's
how
just,
cool
well.
it could
The important thing to know is it's like actually, for one thing, those shows are huge hits with kids, adults, everyone. They're actually really, really well made. They brought in top tier talent, and they just made a great Star Wars show in the animated form.
For fans, by fans.
Yeah. But it doesn't compromise the rules of the universe for animation. It still adheres to the rules of its universe. It still adheres to everything.
No rules are broken for Star Wars.
It takes itself as seriously as Star Wars takes itself seriously. So
And in some ways,
it doesn't
really
do Looney
more
Tunes.
serious.
Yeah, sometimes it is, but it doesn't do like Looney Tune jokes for the humor or anything like that. It doesn't break the rules of the universe for gags or for set pieces or whatnot. And not only that, not only does it properly operate within the rules of the universe of Star Wars and the story of Star Wars, they say it's canon, but it actually is canon. I mean, some of the characters that were first introduced in the animated series, they show up in the live action shows.
Yep, Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, Saw Gerrera in Star Wars Rogue One, which is an awful movie in my opinion, and his character was a really cool idea, but completely feels like it should never have been in the movie because it just slows it down. But, okay, so that's a bad example of fan service in my opinion, but I know most people like it. However, what does matter is it actually was canon, but The Mandalorian is pulling a lot from the,
bringing Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka's going to be in Season 2. The Darksaber is in the show, and I believe that was first introduced in the animated series.
That's correct.
It was in Clone Wars and then in Star Wars Rebels. But again, these shows are actually part of the universe. Not only do the live-action films, when appropriate, pull from them, they make sure that they all add to the universe, and it all feels like these elements are interconnected pretty well. Jurassic historically...
That's the importance of having a story group, though.
Yeah, now
they have a big team for that.
Jurassic does not have a good story Bible. Jurassic historically has not done very well in this sector. So they say this should be their Star Wars Rebels or their Star Wars The Clone Wars for Jurassic. They say it's going to be canon. And I really want to believe that, but the track record isn't there. So I think a healthy dose of skepticism. I really hope they stick the landing on this because, again, if it kind of lives in this space where it's like kind of canon but kind of not canon, especially as the seasons go on, your interest is going to deplete as it continues to basically veer further and further from the film universe and not really add anything to the films. Because we want new stories within the Jurassic universe, and we want them to feel like they actually matter. And we don't want them to say, "Oh, the Indominus Rex was secretly blah blah blah," and then the films to come out and be like, "Yeah, no, that's not the case."
Exactly.
I know Colin was involved with this show. I hope that Colin really got involved with the show to make sure that it could be canon, to make sure that every element of it could be canon. Not that you need to know it for future movies or anything like that, but just that it should be part of the existing canon.
There's no reason why it can't be in
the universe. There is exactly
be part of the
There's
canon.
no reason that it couldn't be other than it's hard to get some of the details right. But I'm hoping that they get the details right, and I'm hoping the writing team obeyed the rules of the Jurassic universe, which is sort of, within the realm of reality. With little...
So what was it like when you first watched this teaser? When you first played it? What feel did you get? Did you...
Well, my night last night was a little chaotic, and I had to watch it on my phone. So I was like, oh, that's cool, but I was preoccupied.
Is the teaser on Netflix yet? Then?
Let me check. I was checking earlier, and it was not. Let me see. It is
Jack,
not.
how'd you feel about it?
Not on Netflix yet.
Yeah, I watched it on my phone in the car while I was driving.
Exactly right.
I wasn't driving. I mean, I'd stopped, not for the trailer, for various other reasons. But I was
pulled over.
I was in a crash. I'll be
Wait,
honest.
really?
Really?
I was stuck in my car, and I was like, you know what? I got my phone out, checked my phone, and boom.
Wait.
There's the notification.
Waiting for emergency services to pop up for you?
Wait, seriously? You're in a crash?
Give me a sec, guys. Camp Cretaceous trailers here.
This is important work.
Yeah. But yeah, I watched it on my phone. There was a bit of blood and like the screen had shattered.
Oh, yeah.
Camp Cretaceous.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't updated it on UK Netflix yet.
No, and it's not on the US one either. But yeah, my overall takeaway was
program is exciting.
positive.
I'll be the judge of that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't watch it and cringe.
I did initially. I did cringe a little bit. Initially.
Really?
But the more we watched it and analyzed it, though, I'm always like that. It's just true. Well, I do like it, though. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I thought it was quite cool. I think the music helps a lot. It's got a really good opening, vibe. And I think, as Josh Malone, I think, tweeted this, it's the right kind of teaser. It doesn't tell you too much. It just shows you a bunch of nice sequences. It doesn't spoil things.
Let your mind run.
It just kind of shows you everything without going too, there's no voiceover. There's no, characters talking through things or, any extended periods like that. I'm sure that will come with another trailer, right?
Yeah.
But
I think that we'll get
a full trailer.
We'll probably get another trailer closer to the release, but I don't think they're going to tell us too much. I think that this type of premise sells itself, unless that there is. I mean, maybe there is a larger. That's the question. Is there a larger story in this other than the survival story? Is there a larger story that will begin to unfold in terms of what InGen was up to, or maybe what Biosyn was up to? Are we going to get something that plays into Jurassic World Dominion and Jurassic World Fallen, that ties everything together and also tells its own story that actually has bigger stakes of? Is it more than just, are these kids going to survive, or how do these kids survive? Will other stories play out during this survival story?
I hope so.
And that's my hope. And I guess, do you think that they could benefit from putting a trailer out saying that, if that is the case?
I think we could always do. I mean, I'm happy with this. I like well, you wouldn't call it under marketing, just marketing correctly. I like how this trailer doesn't tell you too much. It is a teaser in that regard.
Effective teaser.
Yeah, it sells you the tone, and I hope the show sticks to that tone. Because as we said before, it's easy to craft a tone with a few shots and a bit of music and the way you edit it. I hope the show does actually have that kind of same feel. The exploration and the abandonment, the isolation feeling that maybe Jurassic World didn't have.
Yeah.
The fact that these kids are going to be stranded, I think we need to be able to feel
Yeah.
that. I really hope we do. It'll be interesting as it happens chronologically with the film. Jurassic World and everything happened then, when we get to a point where the characters realize they're then alone on the island, the park has cleared out and they've been left behind, that's going to be a big moment. And you think that'll happen in season
I think
one?
that'll probably be the tail end of. I bet you that might be the closing bit of season 1.
Maybe they're looking over the park
and they realize they've been left behind, type of deal.
Yeah, that's a perfect cliffhanger for season 2 anyway.
Exactly. And we are gonna, even if this show bombs horribly, there will be at least 3 seasons, I think. But I think that I don't think it's gonna bomb. I think it's gonna do very well.
Yeah, there's no way. There's too many eyes on this franchise.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, even if it ends up being awful, it's a Jurassic World show on Netflix. Kids are gonna eat this up. It's dinosaurs.
100%.
Yes.
There's
it's gonna sell well.
There's nothing like
this.
this.
Easy background.
There's
as well.
nothing like this out there. I mean, there's never been what's crazy is there's never been a Jurassic Park animated series. There's never been anything sort of like this. So now that it's finally
but there's been a total of 3 in development at various points in time.
More than 3.
You had the Jurassic Park series, yeah. You had the Lost World one, then you had the Chaos Effect.
And then there were Jurassic World ones in development, even during the first Jurassic World. I mean, this animated series thing has been in development hell for a while before it eventually went to these people and this actually came into being. But
Can't believe we finally got one. Jesus.
Yeah, it was
good to finally see it.
It's crazy,
even if it doesn't fit the what we all wanted.
Oh,
it looks great. I've got high hopes for it, and it's cool to just see something that's officially expanded universe. It's not a live show, a live tour. It's not like a game. It's a TV show. It's a Netflix show. That's
people
great.
say that the dinosaurs don't match the art style of the kids, but I don't know. It works for me.
I totally get what they're saying, but it doesn't bother me because it's an animated show. They take liberties here and there, and things it's a style, and seeing them blended together, other than some of the shots we pointed out,
the dinosaurs are slightly stylized also. They're not really stylized. The better way to say is they're slightly simplified. So that while they're still
kind of cartoony,
covered in texture, I think that they blend a little bit. They've been tweaked ever so slightly. They're still very naturalistic. So if we get a new species introduced, we're not going to say, I wonder what its canon design actually looks like. We're going to have a pretty good idea of what it looks like in canon, assuming the show's canon. And that's the other question. It's what else will we see? We know that the Ceratosaurs are going to be in here. Do you think that we'll finally see the Dilophosaurus? which is something that
That
people
would
have
be
wanted to see.
interesting, actually.
I know that Mattel has a new toy coming out for the Dilophosaurus this year. We don't know if it's Camp Cretaceous or part of the core line, unfortunately. But I think it'd be cool to see the Dilophosaurus. We know the Ceratosaurs are in. You know, will we maybe learn about Spinosaurus? Do you think the show will somehow get to Sorna at a point?
God, I
That's an
wish.
interesting thought. That's kind of what I was saying at the start about after the events of Jurassic World. There's obviously Camp Cretaceous is no longer in existence. Like, does the show continue on as Camp
Focus on
Cretaceous? But
Lockwood stuff.
do they change?
I don't-
Yeah. Do they?
I don't think they're going to change
They take
the
a raft to Sorna.
name or anything like that. I think that Camp Cretaceous will be the story of these kids, their fight for survival and eventual like exodus off the island. But yeah,
Yeah. But it's expanding past that. You know, once they're off the island, if they.
I
continue
think
in
that we'll just get a
direction.
different show at that point. I think that there's a good chance that then the team will have a different animated show in the works, following different characters in a different place and different timeline. I think that that's.
What about the
Capsule.
live action show? That's still happening, right?
I mean, presumably, we really don't know much about anything along those lines. It's just other than it was something that existed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but something official.
But yeah.
I'm sure there's so many people that are excited by this. Judging by the trailer response, they turned off comments. Do you notice that on the
Yeah,
official
people
trailer?
are gonna complain for like it's all kids. It's a kids show. again,
That's
blah, blah,
weird
blah.
because I think the comments would have been overwhelmingly positive for this.
Really,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, it's strange that comments are turned off on this. It's really
I see why.
strange. I don't know if that's maybe because it's a kids show thing. They just didn't want to have to moderate the comments for language or anything along those lines. So
Yeah, YouTube is a
Well, that makes
hellhole for
sense
that
actually.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
like,
but, yeah, like to dislike ratio is pretty good.
that might be why. Yeah, no, that's a good like to dislike. It's got 33,000 views so far, which isn't too bad considering a lot of people probably saw the trailer
Don't
on
even know
Twitter,
about this,
Facebook,
yeah.
or Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah, there's no official website for Camp Cretaceous is
No.
there, other than the Netflix page.
no, and they're not pushing
That's a
anything.
shame.
I would have liked to see like at least a sub-site of JurassicWorld.com that was maybe for.
Yeah, they could have done a little viral site. That would have been cool. Little come to Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah, I think that would have been the easiest thing to do. I don't know why we didn't get that. I would have liked that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at JurassicWorld.com right now to see if there's anything about Camp Cretaceous on it, and there is not anything about Camp Cretaceous on JurassicWorld.com.
Give them a couple of months. They'll update.
Yeah, you know.
So September 18th. It's going to be an exciting day. What day is that? Is that a Friday? Is that a Sunday? What are we doing?
That's a good question. I did not even look that up. September
18th is a
Friday.
Friday.
So a weekend
So,
binge.
Friday night.
Friday night binge.
Beers and Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I am. What I've seen looks really good so far. So I'm hoping that
Yeah.
they can stick the
Yeah.
landing. I hope that they can make a case for it until maybe some people are going to say, hey, look, that sounds cool. You know, my kids will love this show. But is there a reason for me to watch it? You know, I know there's a reason for me to watch the Star Wars shows, but is there a reason for me to watch it, or do I just pay attention to it slightly when my kids are watching it? Like, they need to make a case for it. They're obviously trying to sell this to the super fans. There's all these callbacks to the first Jurassic Park in terms of the style of the logo, the colors of the park, the way they've cut this trailer.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell it to us. But is the show it's not only made for us, it's obviously made for kids, and that's totally fine, but is the show actually going to have the content for us? Is the canon going to be there? Is the consistency going to be there? Is the quality of the writing going to be there? I hope so. I've liked
Only one way to
Yeah, I
find
know.
out.
I've liked some of the DreamWorks shows. I thought DreamWorks did really good with Kipo and the Wonder Beasts, and they did really good with Troll Hunters, which is Guillermo del Toro's show.
And let's be real, DreamWorks' best work is of course Shrek and Shrek 2.
But different,
so-
unfortunately, different teams for this.
Some clout there.
Different part of DreamWorks. But yes, Shrek. Will there
Yeah.
be
So-
a Shrek cameo? If we see the gift shop in Jurassic World, will we see a Shrek toy somewhere hidden away like E.T.
God, I
was
hope
hidden?
so.
I really hope we see Shrek.
I hope there's a
Oh
Shrek,
man,
I hope
will there be
there's a
Shrek in Camp Cretaceous? Is that our episode title? No, that can't be.
Shrek is in Camp Cretaceous confirmed.
Shrek confirmed. That's the clickbait title.
yes.
Shrek confirmed in Camp Cretaceous.
But yeah, so again, I'd like to see some of those things. Something I'd also like to see specifically. I would really like to see the Nasutoceratops and the adult Allosaurus, because those are something that, like, again, especially the Nasutoceratops that came out of nowhere. So
Sure, why not? Let's do it.
yeah,
The more the merrier.
I would like to see that on the island and kind of see where they came from. And I'd like to see the adult Allosaurus mainly because you can't really... The design looked interesting in Battle at Big Rock, but you really can't see it because it's so dark. And I would like to see what that design looks like, you know?
Do you think we will see a Dr. Wu?
Oh,
cameo?
absolutely.
We will.
Absolutely. And
Lego
I
Set's
bet
already
you...
confirmed it.
And I bet you we will see Dr. Wu in further seasons because I bet you he comes back to the island.
Ooh.
I don't think these kids are going to be alone on the island in later seasons. I think that we're going to have InGen security eventually show up, and you know, they might not necessarily
Take out,
and then they will
That's how it
smother
ends.
them all with pillows in their sleep.
Yeah, that's it. They just get Eli into.
No, but I definitely think that we will see. I think that Wu might be that story thread that I was talking about. Like, you know, will it have a larger impact on the canon? And I think that as these kids probably try to scavenge to survive and end up in like the Jurassic World labs and in the computer system, I think that there's going to be threads. I think that we're going to see Wu. I think we're going to meet Wu through the campers before things go wrong, and maybe
For sure, yeah. Maybe he's showcasing
Yeah.
some of his
Yeah.
experiments. Maybe that's
I
what we're
would
gonna
love
see.
if Wu's not evil. That's the thing. I would love if Wu is genuinely enthusiastic and wanting to show kids his work. Like, I love the idea.
He's always been evil, man. He was evil.
Oh,
in
so
Jurassic
evil! I know.
Park.
He sits there with his
So
pen.
evil.
He's like, "Well, we bred them all to be female." Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so the Lego set for that, there's a Henry Wu with an Owen and a Bumpy and a weird baby
So-
Triceratops in a lab.
That's the thing. The Lego set wasn't officially based on Camp Cretaceous, but I do wonder if we're going to see baby
Bumpy's in there, man.
Bumpy in the lab. That, or they just wanted a way to put Bumpy into one of the Lego sets. Which, by the way, Bumpy, the design looks... People thought it looked too cartoony, but when you look at the size of it, it's like a hatchling. I think that looks pretty... Like, it's a little...
like it. It
It's
looks cool.
older than a hatchling, but it's pretty small. So I think that design looks pretty good for that size of dinosaur in an animated show. I think it looks cute, and I think you can imagine what the film version of it could look like. It's a nice design. I like the blue also. It works for the Ankylosaur.
You know, I think I'm just kind of excited to explore more of
Yeah.
Nublar. You know, pre-disaster.
And will we see Jurassic Park? I'm sure we will. But like, what parts of Jurassic Park will we see in the
Oh,
show?
that's a good question, dude.
I'm sure that we will.
Yeah, they might do it properly. Like we might see some serious parts of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Visitor Center all destroyed.
I mean, it'd be cool to go through the visitor center a little bit more, and maybe see parts that we've never seen, and maybe see things.
Well, maybe they get into the tunnels.
Yeah.
If we're thinking about those geothermal, maybe they get into them from the visitor center, so we see like the old jeeps, and they get into one.
I
that
would love
works.
to. I would love to see maybe vehicles or things from the Jurassic Park era that we never saw before, that existed that we just never had a chance to see. So maybe
Yeah.
Jurassic Park had another type of vehicle. Maybe it's just an ATV or something, or dirt bikes or something for getting around off road and bringing some stuff around. But I would just love to see more Jurassic Park era things, but new things from Jurassic Park era. Introduce new things to it.
Some of the rides under construction.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a good opportunity
You
for
never
the
know.
ruins.
Yeah.
And, they could always just, when they show us the visitor center, assuming that happens, they could always just fix it and make the lake be there. And just be...
Well, hold fire. That shot in the teaser where they're coming. Do we actually, where it drives past?
Do you think it's near?
Do we know where? Yeah, do we know where that actually is?
We do not, but that could be the Jurassic. That could be like the lake. But then, why is the lake there?
The only issue is the lake on the other
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Wait,
of
what
where
scene
they're
is
driving
this?
in from. We don't know. Oh, it's in the trailer 5 seconds in where the
Oh, okay.
the 6x6 is driving through. It's like it's shot the same way as Jurassic Park when the do 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 do.
That is a
the
theme,
Jeeps
by the
are.
way. That's a musical theme that Chiquino has not brought back, and I really hope he does.
Hopefully he does here. This kind of looks like it could be that. We don't know. Maybe that they're on this tour that shows them the history of Jurassic
That would
Park.
also be
Maybe
cool.
it's something they've
Here's
opened
this
up.
old park where a lot of people died.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. Come check it out, kids.
in the grand scheme of things, not too many people died in Jurassic Park. Now, the Lost World.
Allegedly.
No, they covered it up as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and of course this is the corporate version, but you can't hide from the baggage of Jurassic Park. So, with that in mind,
No, Jurassic World proved it
yeah.
existed.
So with that in mind, there's a way to probably gloss over the events and make it seem like a legacy of romanticize the tragedy rather than rather than highlight the
Robert
trauma.
Muldoon got mauled saving his friends.
Oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
but you know how it goes. There's always going to have to be a spin for something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's a long
I'm
episode,
pretty
1 hour
excited.
40.
I'm excited for the show. I think that there's a lot to take in from it. I want to see more. I'm excited to see how the Ceratosaur plays in. We know from the toys that there's going to be some unique baryonyxes in the show as well. I don't know if they'll be in season 1 or if they're from later seasons, because a lot of those
Yeah, they
toys.
didn't even show any of those. Interesting.
Yeah, they did not show the baryonyx, but we do know that there'll be Grim something and something.
Special
There's
names.
Chaos and something. The baryonyx, and one looks like the Fallen Kingdom one, and then the 2 others are like different versions of green baryonyx. So that should be interesting.
Exciting.
And I'm trying to think if we saw anything else from the toys that. I think that we might see the Dimorphodons. I think that we might see a male Dimorphodon with like red and orange patterning on its body, because we've seen toys of that from both
looks
Mattel
cool.
and
Yeah.
another company. So that could be pretty cool. I'm excited to see things like that. Obviously, the story is where it's at. I just can't wait to see we can see the park and we can see sexual dimorphism, and we can see this, these animals as animals, and maybe some of the variety that the Jurassic Park movies were, especially The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 sort of to a lesser extent showed, and the things that we've assumed existed on this island but we just don't see in the movies. I think we're finally going to see that, and that's exciting to me.
Yeah, and because of the time that it's set in as well, it gives them complete reign to explore Jurassic World's Isla Nublar
And
as it was.
And in some of the shots, I feel like when I was going through the trailer, I was highlighting some of the things that looked off in some of the shots. What I want to mention is how nice the textures are on the ground in a lot of these shots, how dense the foliage is. In the shots that look good in the trailer, it does look really good.
Especially the first time you see the
Yeah.
zip line, the mountain that's behind them, the detail and all the different bits
It's
of
really,
foliage,
really
it's
dense.
nice.
Sometimes the lighting looks good. I think that some of those shots that I think look bad is a mixture of the uniform lighting from the overcast skies and then just YouTube's compression. I think that'll probably look a lot better once we're streaming it on the TV. I wonder if the show's going to be in 4K.
Maybe.
Yeah, it kind of would suck if it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I'm hoping that the show is in 4K and hopefully it supports HDR among other things, because that would be really nice. The show would probably look so beautiful.
That shot of the island now from the very the very beginning is ridiculous. With the
I've
volcano.
always thought that wide shots of
So
Nublar
big.
look ridiculous because they make the island way too small. Considering what we see on the island, I've always thought wide shots of the island look kind of silly in the films, considering we know how.
This one certainly does, but it's still a nice looking shot. How do you think they get there? Do they get there by boat? Do you think these kids are flown in?
That's a good question. They might get there by the ferry. We might see a different form of getting to the island, though, because they might get there the way staff
Yeah.
does, so they might be flown in.
VIP access,
Maybe.
bro.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's it. Camp is
The
open.
camp is open. Discover the other side of the island. They need to change that.
discover-
They need to.
Which
I
side
cannot
is it?
believe that is the tagline.
We nailed that shit.
Like, what a boring tag. Not is that silly. It's just very boring. Discover
find
the
it
other
funny as
side of the
hell.
island. What is it, Lost? I mean, that'd be a good tagline for Lost, where it was this big place of
Yeah.
mythos and magic and mystery. But
Yeah, that's it. Totally
this
right.
is just,
Discover the other side
you
of the
know,
island.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's good. I'm liking what I see.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna do really well. I think just general the audience they are targeting are gonna love it.
I'm
The
excited.
Audience like us, I think.
I hope we love it.
I think we're gonna have things that we really enjoy.
If I like it as much
It
as I like,
looks good. I think that's key. It looks really cool.
if I liked it as much as I liked Star Wars Rebels, which by the way, the first season really hard to get into, kind of kiddie, but then it finds its stride after that, and the story really picks up. And by the end of it, it's so cool. It's so wild, like what they do with Star Wars Rebels. If they can do that with this,
a
then
little
yeah,
bit too
I'm
wild.
I am in. Yo, you weren't a fan.
No, I didn't like Rebels as much as everyone else.
You like the prequels. Interesting.
I love the prequels, dog.
Interesting.
Guys, head to JurassicOutpost.com where we've got the write-up on there. We've got the trailer, we've got the poster, and we've got all the screenshots. And if you right-click the screenshots and open them, you'll see the names of those
Yeah, the
screenshots,
timestamps.
which show you the episode number and the timestamps from when those are. So speculate in the comments when or what the timeline might be for this show. 'Cause it does seem like the first 3 or so episodes might might all be pre-Indominus.
Yeah,
Breakout.
at least.
Which is good. It's kind of what you were saying you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially
bit
knowing,
of exploration and
season 2
fun.
should be following up pretty shortly. That sounds great to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Exciting stuff. Exciting times.
It's exciting. Asees, you excited?
Some would say. I am excited. I was trying to think of a cool Jurassic pun, but I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm excited.
Some would say
You
I
bet
am excited.
Jurassic, I'm excited.
Camp
Wait,
is open.
tell us
Guys,
you're excited in Anakin Skywalker's voice.
Oh God, hang on. Feed me a line. Feed me a line.
I don't know. You just got to get into character.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta feed me a line. Okay, you know what? Here we go.
I am very excited for this show. There we go. You can do that.
Me too.
No, but that's what you got to say in Anakin's voice.
I'm very excited for the show, Master. I swear to you.
Oh God, we haven't had a good Anakin Skywalker Asees voice in a while.
I'll bring it back.
Okay. I hope that can.
maybe debut it. Open it the next episode.
Welcome to the Jurassic Parks. Oh, I don't have that.
Oh,
I don't have it.
one thing I do before we close this out, I do want to say the trailer didn't do a good job of, for people that aren't tuned into the series and what it's about. A lot of people think that this is about them reopening the park again.
Yes, I saw that too.
And they think that they're just basically remaking Jurassic World. Like, oh, the events of Jurassic World are sort of happening again. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that this
Why
is
would they
like,
let kids go there? I'm like, what?
yeah, I've noticed like a lot of people not realizing that.
comment.
So the next trailer needs to do a better job of saying
Needs to specify
when this is and what's happening, because I think that will.
But isn't the issue that when the Jurassic World account uploaded it, they said, opens this summer. It's like, well, firstly, it's September 18th it's coming out, so they're not talking about summer.
Yeah.
Like the real summer. They're talking about these kids are going there during summer, but they're saying that it kind of sells it as it's a modern set in present
Obviously,
day.
obviously things, with everything that's going on, they couldn't hit their original target date. So I really can't hold that against them too much. I would have liked the marketing to kick in a little sooner, so we could have had maybe more to talk about, like drip feed. But yeah, no, I'm excited. It's about a month away. A little over a month away.
Yeah,
and
So pumped.
it's going to be fun to cover this over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Next month and a half. But JurassicOutpost.com will have everything. And guys, if you go there, head to the Jurassic Outpost store. We've got a bunch of products, some really fun stuff in there. And as I said at the beginning, head to Zavvi.com or .co.uk, use Outpost20 for a discount code 20%.
Oh.
Off all of that crap.
So there's something really interesting. I'm sorry.
bought some
RJ
stuff.
Palmer, the concept artist, believe, if I'm not mistaken, he worked on the Detective Pikachu movie. He apparently did some concept designs for Camp Cretaceous, some sort of pitch concept designs back in 2017, and it was supposed to be a 2D style.
Whoa.
Interesting. I wonder if we
I
get
would've
one of
liked
them.
Yeah, I would have liked 2D. I wonder if it probably would have been 3D, but I'm wondering if they would have kind of done a cell shaded sort of like a effects to make the 3D models look more traditional 2D. Yeah, I guess he was asked to do some of the dinos in the DC animated movie style. So his designs
Interesting.
don't look anything like Jurassic World designs though, or Jurassic Park designs, but the artwork is very cool. He's a very talented artist.
I wouldn't like that style though.
But I kind of like what we got, because I kind of like that it's not stylized. For one thing, you can have toys that don't break away stylistically from the main line. And also, again, like I said, with some of the designs, we don't have to debate over the intricacies of the are we seeing or if we're seeing a different color, is it the stylization that's different, or is it supposed to be a
Continuity,
different?
bro.
Yeah, is it actually a new design on the dinosaur on purpose, or is it the stylization? So with the art style that we got, there's not gonna be any debates. But anyways, you can go back to closing this out, Jack. I just saw that on Twitter and wanted to mention that because I thought that was a little cool tail end thing to talk about there when I saw it.
Oh, so those designs are on Twitter?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to send them to you right now, and you can probably post them in the video.
Hey, look at that. Guys, buy our shit. Head to JurassicOutpost.com/store and buy yourself a Kirby mug. We've actually reduced the price of the Kirby mug. Well, we didn't. I just moved the site it was on because of certain
We're selling it through a
restrictions.
different
It's now on
retailer.
Redbubble.
And,
Selling it through a different retailer. Instead of $20, it's now $10. So if you
What?
haven't bought one already... I know, Asees, I know.
What the
I
hell?
didn't realise this could be real. Really sorry about that, but now you can get it at a reasonable price and hopefully the same quality print job. I've got mine here that Asees gifted me.
You're welcome.
It's a glorious
I
piece.
will, yeah, I'm gonna buy one here soon. I'm actually gonna buy a handful. I really want that DNA mask, the DNA code
There's
mask.
some really funky stuff on
Yeah.
there. James McQuaid, as always, rocking
We
it.
10 on 10.
basically kind of like keep coming up with these ideas, and then we're like, okay, James, do it, and he's like,
Yeah.
all right, I got it, and then he just kills it, and then he just keeps coming in with his own designs. Like we don't even talk about it. And he's like, oh, by the way, I did this, and we're like, that's incredible.
Yeah,
sell
so
it.
we have a bit of a retro line.
I'm still
coming
so
soon.
glad that
really,
you guys
really exciting products.
were receptive of that Kirby idea when I brought that up. I thought you guys would
Fucking
just be
love
like,
it, dude.
I thought you guys would just be like, you're crazy, but you're both like, yes.
Dude, I think
you're both
Kirby-
like, yes.
It's so smart.
That's the thing. I think Kirby is just so perfect. It's so fun. Like it's niche, but it's not quite. Everybody knows Paul Kirby, but like it's not a main. It's
you don't
not
know.
like
You
a
don't know.
main
I was,
character.
Westgate and stuff.
I was
Yeah, exactly. And then it kind of adds this layer to JP3 when people realize that they're like, oh,
I
that's
was
kinda
showing
funny,
that
actually.
to
I like that.
I sent all that stuff over to Glenn McIntosh because he's just a Jurassic super fan. He appreciated that all. And speaking of, we might have hopefully I don't want to counter chickens before they hatch, but we might have some cool stuff with Glenn's art in the future to also look forward
That'll be
to.
exciting, yeah, because the store is
Open.
But we'll hopefully have selling some of Ryan's work on there as well. Obviously, Ryan
Yes.
is an incredibly talented artist. He's got some Jurassic prints, and he's actually procured the license for these prints. So these prints...
Wait, what? Really?
His Nedry print is an official print.
Yes, that one's an
oh,
official print.
shit.
Which is very cool. So
And that was
That's
was
awesome.
that sold at DesignerCon?
I believe so, yeah. You can purchase that through Ryan's website now, but we want to drive all the traffic away from Ryan's site and directly
Into
into
Jurassic
the
Outpost.
Outpost, and we'll have
Yes.
the stuff there.
Now
But
with
no, seriously,
yeah,
I'll link to his site to be able to purchase it.
yeah, and I think that we can have some really cool artwork there.
Yes, for sure. So head to the store, head to Zavi, and if you look down on our website on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, depending on what page you're on, in the little blocks there, we've got a multitude of different deals and offers and things like that. If you click the links, and yeah, I guess that's it, guys. It's been fun to discuss Camp Cretaceous with you. We actually have something new to discuss,
Feels like old school.
which is rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels a little bit old school. It feels like 2015 again.
You
Hell
know,
yeah.
right before we close this out, you know what? My one thing I want to see in
Another
this.
tangent.
You know what I want to see in this? I want to see the Troodon from the Telltale game
No, thank you.
with a slightly redesigned art style for the films. But yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. The game's not canon; it's already out of canon. But you can still pull from
Good.
it the way Star Wars pulls from their expanded universe. It's not canon anymore. Like how they brought.
I want nothing to do with
how they
that game,
brought
dude.
Thrawn back. I like the design. Well, I like the colors.
Kick
I
the
don't
shit in
like
the river where it
design,
belongs.
But I like the concept
Fight
of
me.
the design. Big eyes, these weird teeth, the weird duck, the weird face. I don't know. It's creepy. And if you gave it a realistic art style overhaul, I think that it could look pretty good. I think Steam Blessed on Twitter did a kind of remake of it for Jurassic World Evolution, and it looked fantastic.